and welcome back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. I'm your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jules, an Azur-Keti bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dex, a kobold rogue.
Ryan, I play Tough, an automaton inventor.
I'm still not used to him saying Ryu or not saying Ryu, you know.
Same.
I'm Taryn, I play
Spoiler
Waltz, a
alert.
human champion.
I can kill his new character if you want.
Yeah, let's go back to Ryu.
Do it right now. Do it right now.
Well, last time on Mortals and Portals, the party was finally all together. I mean, this version of the party was all together, and you guys recapped events. I mean, yeah, just tried to give each other the rundown on the important stuff, got in arguments. We found out that Dunadast is Tuff's dad, and freaking Dax killed Tuff's dad, but he can't tell him why he killed his dad because he doesn't know Tuff like that right now. He doesn't. They're just not on that like kind of like you know when you need to be friends with someone before you tell them you killed their dad. You know,
Right.
You know when you
whole
do
thing?
that group project and you can't tell the other person in the group that you killed their dad?
Yeah, you know that whole like awkward
At least
thing?
not until you present, you know?
Yeah, until after you're graded.
So right now,
after
Joel's
you do the
trying
peer
to
reviews.
draw from that part of his past so we can role play that through Dax.
Right.
Classic elementary school situation.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then, Tuff was sharing that he has this big old supply drop basically from this organization that he's working for. He's also here to get the Arcanor, and they told him the Arcanor is destroyed. And it's so much stuff. And then they went to go try and find this care package to get some stuff, maybe be able to fight Sindor, and then it was empty. And then it turns out that some people from Karos, led by Ira, and some of the soldiers-esque that Ryu trained had already found the supply drop, took everything out of it, and were waiting to see if it was Drake Knights. But then you found out it was them, and they said, hey, let's not talk now. Come with us. We have a bit of a hideout, and you guys can get some rest. We can get healed up. We can give you what was in the supply drop. So you guys did, and guess where they took you guys? They took you to Diggsby's Orchard.
The best place.
Yeah, the best place that they are guarding. They have scouts walking around. They said, don't worry about it. Just get some sleep. It's been 500 episodes since you guys have been able to sleep. Just shut up and go to bed. So, yeah.
I'll be honest, I haven't even rested yet because I don't know if I trust you.
Yeah, you don't believe
until
it?
you tell me it's the next day.
Yeah, roll initiative.
You wake
Yeah.
up. Do I?
Hey, you
though?
met up with some Karos people.
Sure.
Toriel healed you guys. We did a quick, you guys recap everything so we don't have to roleplay every single aspect of conversing on everything. And, that's where we ended our session. But that's not where we're going to start our session because you guys did get to sleep, okay? Believe me. So we're going to start with towards the morning. But let's back up 1 second.
All right.
Because, Dax, you find yourself on Drakis in the dead of night, as you always do, evading the sunlight that you know could incinerate you in moments, ever on the move, migrating with the rotation of the planet under the shelter of night, and you've been scouting ahead with a group of kobolds you have met during this trip around the planet, and you were sent ahead to find a ideal route through the mountains ahead. A few other kobolds split off to do the same, and you're supposed to report back with what you found. On your way back, navigating the streams of lava that flow down the mountain Eveth, you stop for a moment, not far from your camp, because in a rare moment on Drakis, you feel you've observed something truly beautiful as you look upon the pools of lava, flakes of fire dancing upwards as they meet a peculiar glow, something that often illuminates the darkness of Drakis, a mixture of radiation, magic, acidic pools. It's hard to say at times, but you're just observing a concoction of color that is swirling about the reds, yellows, oranges of the lava, mixed with a bright blue that hovers in the air. And as you stare at this beauty, you're reminded of the world beyond, the other places that you've heard of in Keldora, places that you would love to go to. Beautiful oceans of Aquaria, the many seasons of Mortifar, the sprawling forests of Lorthal, and you just sort of enjoy this sliver of beauty on Dracus, and something comes over you, something that doesn't often fill your mind, but you want to share this moment with someone. And he starts to run down the mountain and stop and look upon where you know your camp to be and see that all of your fellow kobolds have already left, even taking the gear that you left behind as well. No doubt they have already found a path and didn't even consider waiting for you. Something very common on the hostile world of Dracus. And you're filled with sadness, another thing you don't often take the time to feel. And you just sit there wondering if you'll ever get off this planet, if you'll ever be able to share anything with anyone. As you sit there thinking this, you hear the crunch of an apple, and you turn over your shoulder. Dax, have a look at this. It's beautiful. And you see Digsby tilting his straw cap back so that he can look upon this magnificent concoction of light more clearly. He hikes up his overalls. Come quick.
Digsby?
Yes, Dax, Steve, Digsby, whatever. I can't remember. Just come on.
Dax will just kind of scratch at his head a little bit and head up beside Digsby. Isn't it beautiful?
Well, it's not my orchard, but
No.
it has its perks. Oh, Dax, you look terrible, by the way. Have an apple.
Oh,
I love this.
thanks, bud. And Dax will take the apple and take a big bite.
He puts his hand on your shoulder. Oh, Dax. And he leans in. That'll be 1 silver, by the way.
Got it.
A smirk will come over Dax, and he'll pat his chest, pat his pockets, and, Digsby, I think I might actually have one for you this time.
What? I don't believe you. You better not be pulling a fast one on old Digsby. That's my trick.
After searching around for a little bit, Dax will find a silver and put it in his hand and reach his hand out for a handshake.
He goes to shake your hand and feels the silver and looks at it. Why, I must be dreaming. You've actually paid. But you still have your tab, Dax, don't forget. Especially with all the apples Waltz ate.
Yeah, that guy sure knows how to put them away, huh?
He binged them. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
Unreal.
Truly. And he looks over at the fields of lava and says, stuff like this that makes me realize there's something to fight for. A reason to keep going, Dax.
That's a good way of looking at it. I agree.
And a familiar smell drifts across your nose. Smell of coffee, and you turn around and see Dunadast sipping from his mug. I would have come to Dracus sooner had I known it had such beauty.
Dax will whip his head around. Dunadast.
You look like you've seen a ghost, Dax. Dax, would you like some coffee? I brought enough for each of you. And he turns around and just, surprisingly, there seems to be a table there, something that makes little sense. Sure. And he hands out a mug. Digsby goes, usually they don't let me have coffee. Something about I'm too much already, but thank you.
With a slight chuckle at that, Dax will take the cup of coffee and firstly take a big sniff of it, because I think the scent of the coffee means more to him than the taste. He didn't particularly like the taste of coffee when he drank it back in Karos the first time. So he, much like when I was a kid and I would smell my parents making coffee and take a sip, it was always gross, kind of the same deal. So he just relishes this moment and holds the hot cup of coffee in his hands and kind of just basks in the smell of it.
He looks at you with a smile and just puts his hand on your shoulder, and Digsby puts his on yours as well. And then you hear,
I could use a refill.
And you whip your head around and see Ryu eyeing the coffee. Oh no, cut him off. Last time he was farting and everything.
I'll cut you off. And I go to draw my sword.
Oh my god, Ryu. It's so good to see you.
Dax, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has.
I'm sure we have much to catch up on.
Unfortunately, it seems there's a lot you guys have missed.
We don't need to talk about any of that right now. Let's just enjoy this moment together.
Then I'll need that refill.
Yeah, you can have mine. I don't think I need it.
I can't find it.
Oh, yes, that's right. He's blind. That's ridiculous. Here. And he reaches it out very gently and places it in your hand, and you feel a little halfling hand on your hand trying to give you the handle.
I take the coffee mug.
A smile comes over Dax, and he feels comfort like he hasn't felt in a long time. Just surrounded by people who he's cared about and has grown to know and love over his short amount of time in Nisserine.
And Dax, as you're feeling that, just looking at the three of them, smiling, interacting, being their old selves, you see the light that was resonating from the lava pools and the blue light dancing above it start to fade as they grow dark in your vision. And then their demeanors change as they grow silent and look towards the horizon. And you follow their gaze and see the sky growing an ominous green, a faint glow, and it's starting to form the silhouettes of a familiar foe as you hear,
I will crush you and everything you represent.
and you can tell it is Sindor filling the sky. Oh no, Dax, it's the druid man. He's come for my knowledge. And you look back at your friends as they start to fade away into green ember-like dust that drifts away in the wind. No. You feel a powerful gust blowing at you as you look back to the horizon as a menacing Sindor fills the sky, stepping over the mountain of Yvette, coming towards you, and you look back at him filled with rage, reaching your hand out, yelling in rage. "Ah!" And you thrust your hands out and see the lava pool almost dancing around you as fire shoots out of your hand, and you snap awake, realizing you are still in the cellar as you have just thrust your hand out, casting fire at an empty bed in front of you that is now on fire. Waltz, Jules, you shoot awake to see fire filling the center of this cellar.
What happened? Fire! Fire!
Oh gosh, where did that come from?
Oh god.
Dax, you scramble forward. You don't even know what to do. You're just panicking. You don't know how this fire got here, but you feel like it came from you in some way. And you just instinctively reach out your hand, and Waltz and Jules, you see Dax's veins starting to glow blue as he shoots his hand out, and a ray of frost fires outward and overcomes the fire, casing the bed in ice.
Dax, I didn't know you could make fire in ice.
Oh.
Yes, how did you do that?
Dax is just staring at his hands, turning them over, also not really sure how he did that. I don't know. I was having a dream, and then I woke up and there was fire. I don't know, did I cause that?
I can't say. I was sleeping. I woke up to the fire.
Is everyone okay?
Dax, you look down at your other hand and realize your veins are glowing a faint orange on that arm.
What is going on?
Do we notice that, or can I do a perception check to see if I notice that as
No,
well?
you definitely notice that. It's very strange and is actually giving off some trace of light.
Dax, your arms. Why are they glowing like that?
Jules, I don't know. The only other time I saw this happen was when the Arcanor exploded back at Forgoth's lair.
Fascinating. I wish Dunadast were here. He'd probably know what's happening.
Dax, see if you can do that again.
Yes, shoot tough.
As you say that, you realize it was Tuff's bed that was caught on fire, and he was not in it.
Shoot. Wait a minute. Wasn't that Tuff's bed?
Oh, yeah. Where's Tuff at?
Yeah, where did he run off to? Tough!
No response.
Tough!
You guys see Dax isn't very animated, I guess. He just kind of has a more or less blank look on his face. I mean, he's still thinking, he's thinking heavily about this dream or nightmare, I guess, that he just had.
Jules will walk up to him and place a hand on his shoulder and kind of lean down to look him in the eye. Dax, are you all right?
Yeah, I think I'll be fine. Bad dream is all.
All right. Well, I suppose I should see where Tough ran off too.
Yeah, Waltz is just, feels bad because they're offering hospitality here for us. And so he wants to clean this mess up because one of Waltz's friends just burned and then frosted or froze one of the beds that they let us use. So
You guys
he
are
feels
Dixie's
kinda
crew. You
bad.
can trash the place. It's all right.
That could have had a person in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like Ozzy Osbourne. Just do whatever we want.
Waltz is going to just pick up debris of like the shattered wood and burnt and frozen pieces and start taking them, I'm assuming, upstairs to see what they want to do with all this trash, or where to take it all.
Sure. You guys see Waltz picking up a half-frozen bed. What else remains of it?
Sorry, Waltz. Thanks for getting that.
No, that's all right, buddy. I just, I don't want anybody to get hurt. You could, get a splinter.
Oh, which reminds me, you guys are level 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot to say it again. I was going to
Yeah.
say it like 2 episodes ago. But you guys did it. You're level 4.
Our biggest accomplishment yet, remembering to announce.
Look at
it.
us.
Yeah,
Look at
we're
me,
so
Ma.
bad at that. Like,
Level
they know
4,
they're
I
level
betcha.
4, but I forget that. I
Never
have to
thought your
tell.
son would reach this.
See, Dad, you always said I was never going to be level 4, and here I am. Look at me now.
We were at
Except
like 1
Dax
XP,
isn't
so
level 4.
Dax destroying the bed got us to level 4.
Right.
That's the 1 XP I needed.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys heading up.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll start looking for Tough.
All right, you guys are walking through the cellar. You see a few citizens of Karos, maybe, but no one you really know per se. They're just sort of tending to the cellar, moving supplies around, things like that. They give you a nod, like a very respectful look as you guys walk past, go up the stairs, exit the cellar. You all roll me a perception check.
Ooh, 26.
9.
27.
Waltz is just kind of like
Joel.
fumbling with the pieces of chair as he's going up the stairs, trying to, it's just like an
where you
awkward
want
amount
those
of
pieces?
supplies to kind of put all in your arms at once. Dax, Jules, right as you guys step up, you just smell the fresh morning air. You hear the chirping of birds. You're just overlooking this beautiful orchard. Trees in perfect rows, apples adorning their branches. Sort of this carved out orchard amidst the rocky terrain, perfectly flat. And as you're just enjoying these sights and feeling this odd sense of peace in a time that you know is anything but, you catch the familiar aroma of coffee drifting out the window of the cabin behind you.
Dax's stomach will sink a little bit.
Jules will take a deep breath in and smile and walk up to one of the trees and grab an apple.
That'll be 1 silver, though. Ooh, that'll be 1 silver.
It takes me. Turn around, toss it in my hand, look at Dax and smile. I miss him. And I'll take a bite.
It's delicious.
The best. Waltz, I'm sure you can put those down there.
Oh, yeah, I just keep dropping a couple pieces, but yeah, and Waltz will start to, maybe find a spot outside that looks like he could stow all this debris at.
Yeah, you see Waltz looking like he's trying to find a good spot for it and just kind of like looking side to side and realizing it's just really not worth it. He just kind of sets them all down in one random spot.
We'll sort this mess out after breakfast.
Waltz is trying to do that youth group, carry as many chairs as possible, get noticed.
Like-
Try to impress them.
Yeah. I'll throw the apple at Waltz. Let me rephrase that. I'll toss the apple at Waltz.
Waltz, you catch the apple because you're not Ryu in episode
Well,
one.
let me do an athletics check.
He's gonna do like a backflip one-handed kick.
28. I catch that.
Yeah, right as he's putting the chairs down, you like toss it trying to catch him off guard, and he just like snags it before he even turns around in his left hand, and you know he's right-handed.
Wow.
Wow.
Waltz will look up and maybe finally take a deep breath, literally of fresh air, look at the scenery, and I think you would see everything in his body just kind of relax. His shoulders relax, his eyes kind of light up, and just kind of bask in the view and the smells. And then he'll lift the apple up and take a bite.
You gonna eat 3 of them?
No, I'm just not yet. Let me just savor this one,
Okay.
It's not about how many apples eat. Yeah, I guess that would absolutely play in his mind. He'll smirk at that and the memory of Digsby, and just savor the one he has for now.
I just picture like all three of you just like happily chewing an apple, just kind of staring at each other like,
Yeah.
so good.
This is nice. Jules will start walking to the cabin he smelled the coffee from, and without turning around, he'll say, Dax, Walt,
Oof.
this way, boys. Smells like they've got coffee on.
Dax is gonna look down at the base of one of the trees and find an apple that's fallen days ago, maybe a little shriveled up and wilting. He'll pick that one up and just kind of toss it in his hands a couple times and start following Jules with this sort of symbol of what's going on in his brain right now.
All right, as you guys approach the cabin, you also start to smell the aroma of bacon and eggs, and you start to hear a lot of chatter going on inside the cabin. And you crest the door. A lot of familiar faces look at you. You can peer into the kitchen and see Poppy and Kelwyn from Bumblebrooks cooking up some eggs and bacon. You see Toriel tending to a couple of the soldiers that Ryu had trained, looking at some wounds that seemed like they acquired them a few days ago, just checking up on them. And you scan some more, see a few more faces, people from Karos, maybe some people you don't know quite as well. And then you see Tuff standing by a long table with a lot of gear spread across it, talking to Ira.
Hey, maybe don't touch the piles I've already got set out. Okay, this is organized.
Organized? What are you talking about? It was organized when I showed it to you.
If you call you dumping out the crate onto this table in some weird nonsensical way organized, yeah, that's absolutely what you did. No, I've got distinct piles here. See?
Yeah, well, whatever. Do you even know what any of this is?
I don't have time to waste with you. Oh, you three. Finally up, huh? Apples for breakfast? Guess there are plenty of them.
Morning, Tough.
Jules?
How long have you been at it?
Let's see. I only really need a couple hours to reboot, so I guess about 6 hours.
Well, what's all this here?
As you guys can see here, I've been hard at work going through everything in the crate here, and I've got things divided into a few separate piles. People here at Karos kind of told me about the fight that you guys had in town and got an idea of maybe some of your abilities, so these are the things that I saw seem to match each of you the best. If you think any differently, well, just keep that to yourself, I guess.
Ira just like rolls her eyes. I've only known this one for 6 hours and it's already driving me crazy. And then she just walks off.
Hey, Shrimp, the adults are talking.
I'm actually taller than you.
Yeah, well, not in brain size.
What?
I said your brain's short.
He grows on you, I promise.
Dax, as she walks by you, she's like, it's a robot cat. Oh, just walks into the kitchen.
Anyway, Dax, Waltz, if you want to start taking a look at some of this stuff. Jules, if I could borrow you for a sec.
Certainly.
Thanks, Tuff.
Yeah, don't mention it.
Dax will head up to the table and look and see what's laid out.
Waltz has got to be starving, so as soon as he walked in, he didn't hear or listen to really anything that Tuff was saying, and he's just staring at the bacon and eggs that's being cooked. And as he kind of out of his peripherals notices Ira walk by, he's going to walk up to her, while not looking at her, still looking at the breakfast food, and say, hey, Ira, sorry, but apparently Dax can shoot ice and fire out of his hands, and we'd destroyed one of your beds. And he'll walk over towards the food.
Well, where is it?
Oh, I brought most of it out front. I gotta. And I'll walk over
I'll go get it. Okay.
And I'll walk up and just
Thanks.
start eating the eggs and bacon or anything that's already cooked.
Walt, as you walk up, you realize she's beginning to cook over easy eggs. But we all know from your flashback that you like scrambled eggs.
Oh, gosh.
Waltz will take note of it, but I think he's just so happy to have a meal like this that he'll take him anyway.
I was waiting for you to stick your finger and swirl it.
I think he'll be aware enough of like the kind act and how grateful he is to have a meal like this after days of eating. I don't even know if we ate anything.
Yeah,
You know what I
Kelwyn
mean?
looks back and she goes, oh, it's you. have you eaten anything since you had that like one Brussels sprout and one bite of your steak and then gave the rest to the other people in the tavern? You must be starving.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have literally ever been hungrier than I am in this moment in my life right
we'll
now.
get some more eggs going. Poppy. And she goes, oh yeah, no problem. How do you like your eggs?
Scrambled.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'll break the yolk.
And Waltz will just think of that experience that he just had that he wish he could have just stayed in, which just kind of adds to how, other than the fire, how great this morning has been and how everything's starting to kind of feel normal,
I was always talking about the fire. Like I ruined the whole morning by blasting fire out of my hands.
Sorry, Joel.
All right, Waltz, as you're thinking of that, they just put a big old plate of a heap of eggs and a bunch of bacon and some potatoes. And of course, some apple slices.
Oh, thank you so much. And he'll take it over to that table, push some of the maybe piles together that Tuff just got done explaining, and set his plate down and start eating.
With that, we'll jump on over to Tuff, who just pulled Jules off to the side. Maybe just saw Waltz just swipe his file.
I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. So anyway, Jules, I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, what is it?
Let's see. I guess I just wanted to say, sorry for not telling you about Dunedast.
Well, I suppose it was a bit confusing why you didn't tell me in the first place, but I forgive you. I'm sure you had your reasons.
Tuff is just kind of uncomfortably looking down at his feet. Yeah, I knew you would, but I wanted you to know that it's been a while since I felt like I've had a friend, and a while since I felt like I'd had someone I could trust,
I'll put both hands on his shoulders and say, yes, I know all too well.
So anyway, before we get too sappy, I pulled this out from the crate. I think the organization intended for it to be for me, but I told those hacks that I could make something better anyway, so figured this might be best given to you. And I pull out a pistol and hand that to Jules. If you look at the grip, there's little something engraved on there. And on the grip of the pistol, you see the words, Horizon Sun.
Man.
That's
cool.
That's awesome.
That's the name of that song you were singing for your friend who died, right?
Yeah, Tuff. Thank you. I'll take good care of it.
You're welcome. After hearing about Dunedast, I feel like I understand a little bit more about what you were singing about. And even though I forgot what it was like to have a friend, maybe this can help you remember.
Jules will stare at the pistol for a moment longer than he meant to and wipe the tear from his eye and look up at Tuff. Thank you, friend.
Yeah, enough with the tears. You're going to dry yourself out. And I shove him a little bit.
Tuff, I am sorry about your father. He was a good man.
A good man, huh? I understand I said he was my father, but his and my relationship is a little more complicated than that.
How so?
Well, you see, I came here with the inkling that Dunedast would be here, but I sort of had some mixed feelings about seeing him again. I told you he was the one that created me, and we spent a lot of time together when I was growing up. But one day he said he had to leave, and said he would come back, but never did. I don't know if it was to follow this endeavor of creating this Arcanor or what it was, but he abandoned me, Jules, and I don't think I've ever forgiven him for that.
How long ago was this?
I don't know, probably about 20 years ago now.
For what it's worth, when I first met Dunedast, we had a long conversation. He explained a bit about where he came from, but he expressed that he's been trapped on this island for 20 years, that Sindor had a hand in manipulating him in his knowledge.
What?
I can't say I've known Dunedast for long, but the short time I did spend with him, he seemed filled with regret. I think that's starting to make more sense now.
Tuff hangs his head. So the entire time, I was without Dunedast, alone on my own. It was because Sindor trapped him here?
I believe so.
Tuff takes the mug of coffee he was drinking and just throws it to the side.
Calm down, friend. We'll figure this out together. We'll take Sindor on together.
Tuff takes a deep breath in and his shoulders shrug up and then rest down. Now I'm even more confused, Jules. I don't understand. Why would Sindor trap him here for 20 years, only to kill him yesterday? Was it to get this Arcanor?
I also can't say I understand Sindor's motives. He's a complicated man. I'm just sorry that things ended the way they did. But tough. If there's any way I can help you find closure with your father, like you have here for me, and I'll gesture to the pistol, you let me know, okay?
I'll tell you what you can do. Let's go get Dunadast's killer.
Aye.
Sindor's gonna meet my lead, and yours too. And I pull out my gun and spin it around.
I'll spin my gun.
Spin off.
Spin off.
I spin mine again.
Smirnoff, spin off.
I do a horizontal spin.
I flip it up in the air and catch it.
You and your
Spin it.
dang opposable thumbs.
You can get an upgrade for that. It's readily available.
Yeah, last time I tried putting on a thumb, I lost a chip in my ear. But that's a different
Oh, I
story.
remember that.
Oh, you were there. I forgot.
I was there for that. Anyways, are you going to shake my hand? or
Anyways,
not?
yeah, let's do the handshake thing
Okay,
instead.
cool. Yeah.
You guys can just
Excellent.
keep awkwardly spinning your pistol at each other in the corner of the cabin if you want. You guys look over and see a bunch of plates being set down, filled with food at the same table where all the gear is sprawled out across.
Hungry?
You know me, Jules. The coffee does me well. And then I look around for where my mug went. Ah, crap. And then I go run over and pick it up. And I head over to where the coffee is, and maybe I'll even grab an extra mug or two, seeing Dax and Walt sitting at the table, and fill those up as well. Tough will walk over, kind of waddling, carrying these 3 mugs. Set one down in front of Walt's, and another down in front of Dax. Here, you'll need the energy.
Thanks, Steph. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Tough. And Waltz will keep eating his meal.
Slow down, Waltz. You don't want a stomach ache.
His plate is empty now.
Another one gets set in front of you.
Let's get going.
I'll be eating and drinking coffee as well. So, Tough, what is all this? Walk us through it.
Well, I hope you all found your piles here. Waltz, you seem to have conveniently shoved mine to the side. Thank you for that. But I feel it should be fairly obvious what belongs to who.
All right. So for you guys, Tough is going to be explaining this, but I'm going to take a moment to explain to the listeners what's all on this table and why they're getting so much stuff at once. Because as you guys probably know by the amount of rules we got wrong, that we just dived right into Pathfinder, and we came from D&D where we just kind of like gave an item maybe at the end of an arc and didn't really care too much. And over time, we learned, the treasure by party level table and all that stuff and what Pathfinder expects you guys to be getting. And I'm sure you guys have realized I haven't given any loot to these poor guys. So they're getting a loot dump via this supply crate. So
Loot
I'm going to read
dump.
down the list
Thanks for the loot, though.
of items. And this is going to catch them up to everything they should have had by this level. And they're getting it all at once for their big old battle. So we have 4 weapon potency runes plus 1, 1 soft landing rune, 1 returning rune, 1 bracelet of dashing, 1 perfect droplet spell heart, 1 crafter's eyepiece, 1 healer's gloves, 2 striking runes plus 1, 2 emergency disguises, 2 lesser explosive mines, 1 instant spy, 2 ablative armor plating moderate, 2 lesser healing potions, 1 oil of mending, 1 spell scroll for the enlarged spell, 1 climbing bolt, and 2 minor life shots. And I see as I'm reading down this list that you guys have added pile of poop, bag of farts, crate of crap, satchel of, I'm not reading that, 4-piece chicken nuggets.
Ooh, I want that. Can I have that?
This is
No,
why we
no,
don't,
no,
this is why we
mine,
don't do the
mine.
thing on Patreon where like patrons get to submit items, because I feel like this is what they would be. Or like NPC names.
4-piece chicken nugget.
The 4-piece chicken nugget is what got me. That's
The 4-piece
I like
chicken
that
nugget
we
is
call
in there.
dibs rather than just splitting the 4 amongst us.
Oh god.
And Tough gets done explaining this insane loot dump that you guys are getting, something you're probably desperate for, super excited about. And he tells you what all of these items do and what they're called.
Like I said, I split them into individual piles designated for each and every one of you, organized perfectly.
Hey, Waltz, let me get one of those
disguise kits. I think Jules and I could probably use one of those each, eh?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Good thinking, Dax. I'll take one of
Hey,
those.
last time I checked, only one of us almost fell to their death. Jewel, let me get that rune of.
No. What did I just say?
Yeah, Waltz, I think you should do that. I mean, that should be fine for me. I don't
No,
need
it's
it.
not fine. It's organized.
You guys remember when I threw my trident? Perhaps this returning rune would be
Okay,
Right.
well,
useful
yeah,
for
that's
me.
already in
That
your
for
pile,
sure.
Jules.
Situation.
Yeah, you
again?
should. Hey, Tough, he needs that. He needs
Okay,
to have
yeah,
that.
that's
I'm
why I
gonna
put
take
it
that
there. You don't need to
for
claim
sure.
something in
Hey,
your
Duff, you did get
listen.
one thing right, though. Those gloves. Those you hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, I got them all right. That's the point.
None of this was in the same pile.
All right. So after some time bickering, each of you have received a weapon potency rune. Jules has received the soft landing rune and the returning rune. Tough has the bracelet of dashing. Jules has the perfect droplet spell heart. Tough has the crafter's eye. Dax has the healer's gloves. The striking rune +1 has gone to Tough and Dax because there's two of them. Dax and Jules each get an emergency disguise kit. Jules gets both explosive mines. Nice. Good for you, Jules. Tough gets the instant spy. You could have used those on the ship when you're blowing it up.
Right.
Would have been nice.
Waltz gets the ablative armor platings. Waltz and Jules each get a lesser healing potion. Waltz gets the oil of mending. Dax gets the enlarged spell scroll. Dax gets the climbing bolt. And Tough gets the life shots.
Pew pew.
Good job, everyone.
You too, Zach.
Thank you.
Thanks, and anything.
Who gets the dog with anxiety?
We already have a
Tough,
cat with
'cause he's a cat.
anxiety.
Yeah. Ira walks in. All right, now that you guys have gotten that out of the way, what's the plan? She just folds her arms.
I'm glad you asked. Maybe you guys will listen to me on this one at least.
Go on.
Well, I have the base of a plan, but maybe you guys can help me fill in some of the gaps.
Let's hear it, Tough.
Well, Sindor's pretty powerful. I don't think we can survive just a simple head-on collision with him. I think we have to try to use the advantage of stealth and ambush as much to our advantage as possible.
Dax will kind of peek his head up with a sort of a weird look on his face and look to Jules and Waltz. Look, I'm not going to say he's wrong, but are we really going to let the guy who's never even seen Sindor come up with a plan on how to kill him? I mean, we just had to explain to him yesterday who Sindor even is.
Well, excuse you. I don't see anyone else here more qualified to come up with anything better. I may not have seen him, but I've certainly heard of him, and I saw what he did yesterday.
Look, Duff, here's what I think. I think we can utilize some of the stuff that this mysterious company you say you work for delivered to us. Really handy. What if we use that enlarged spell on Waltz? He's got the armor, he's got the new shield, and then using this, Dax will reach into his bag, pulling out the invisibility potion that he picked up, leaving Scale Keep. It was one of the 3 potions. Dax has since used the evening to figure out what those were. We can use it on Waltz in his enlarged state, make him invisible, easier to sneak. Maybe we can get the jump on Sindor that way.
I like where your head's at, Dax. Walt, do I need to even ask if you're up for this?
Whatever you guys think is our best chance at taking him down.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate that idea. Mostly because it sounds exactly like sneaking and ambushing.
Jules will, before the tension can rise again, Jules will take the pistol that Tough just gave me, and I'll set it on the table and put my hands together and say, I still have the ice round that Dunadas gave me.
Ice round.
Here, take a look. And I'll hand it over to him.
Tough will take his goggles and put them over his eyes and kind of inspect the pellet more closely. Ah, it's a type of munition, huh?
Tough, can you roll me a Arcana check?
I got a 13.
Tough, as you're looking at it, you once again marvel at Dunadas' creativity, because you don't know exactly how you would do this, but you can tell he's used fragments of Arcanate that he had and was able to get as much out of them as possible. You don't know how he could be so efficient with it, but you can tell that this is definitely his handiwork.
Huh. Dunadas, that son of a gun.
Nice.
Well, we can definitely use this to our advantage. And I like the idea of using the potion on Waltz. I still think we need something to get the jump on him.
Do you have something in mind?
I do. Again, it's just kind of the start of a plan here. I think we should still incorporate some of those other things, but I've got this instant spy here. Can record audio up to an hour's length. And Tuff will just kind of ruminate and kind of stroke around his chin, looking at all the items on the table, thinking hard to himself.
Ira interjects. I don't understand. Are you planning on fighting him here at the orchard?
Well, if we want to get the jump on him, I think that's the only way.
So you're gonna lure him here? He doesn't know we're here.
Where would he be looking for us?
I don't know. He knows you can't leave the island, at least not without taking a ship. The nodes obviously aren't active, so perhaps he'll be patrolling the coast. Work his way inward. He still has Drake Knights, right? He didn't kill all of them.
I'm afraid not.
Jules will reach in his pack, find the flare and pull it out, set it on the table. Could we use this?
She looks at it. You can tell she knows what it is. I suppose so.
Jules, I forgot all about that.
I was going to use it before, and then he stops himself. I just, never got the chance. Maybe now we can find some good use for it.
She nods. Well, we'll need to be ready. He's not going to show up by himself. Ryu gave us some training. Whatever foot soldiers he brings, we'll do our best to help you with that.
Leave the druid to us. Ira, thank you.
Don't thank me yet. There's not many of us that can fight, and we don't know what Sindor's going to bring. I just wish we had more soldiers. And then she kind of hangs her head, and then looks up at you and says, but I can't thank all of you enough. With Dunadas gone and Karos being attacked, I've been doing my best to keep us together, but I'm sure glad you guys are here now. It's very comforting to have Digsby's crew here.
It's good to be back, though it appears you've done a fine job.
She gives one of those half-hearted smiles, trying to just look grateful, but you can tell she wishes she could have done more.
I'll give her a little head nod. Assuring head nod, you know?
For sure.
One that says, hey, Ira, I understand you're going through it, but listen, nothing will perk your spirits up like a warm cup of Folgers.
She just walks off and goes and gets a cup of coffee and comes back. She doesn't know why. She just felt compelled by the head nod.
So what about this ambush plan of yours, Duff?
Waltz, can you toss me that instant spy from my pile?
Waltz will grab it and throw it over to him.
And Tuff will look at it and kind of twirl it between the fingers of his paws. I think I've got an idea.
And you all lean in and discuss a plan. And after some time and some affirming nods from the party, per the usual, you all lean back out with an understanding of Tuff's plan.
I think that might work.
It's good to have you back, Tuff. I've missed that mind of yours.
Of course it'll work. It's my plan.
So you all stand up from the table and start taking the gear that has been allocated to you and spend some time applying these runes, acquainting yourselves with these weapons, maybe even stepping outside to get a feel for them yourselves, test out the abilities, and after some time, can you all roll me a perception check?
Nat 20.
Oh,
Really?
I nat
Do we
one.
even need to roll?
That one.
Let's get him out of the way now.
Yeah.
I got a
Nat
16.
23.
Bada bing.
Yeah, Tough. You can't really focus on anything because you're really irritated by the way that Waltz applied his potency rune to his blade. It's like not centered in the way that you would have done it, and it's just
Come on,
irritating
man.
you, even though you
Don't
spent
just
some time
jam it
showing
in
him how
there.
to do it.
Have a little bit of finesse.
Oh, what do you mean? It's, that's fine the way it is.
Just let me finish it.
No, and I'll slap his hand.
And Waltz, as you slap his hand, you hear some whispering over in the tree line, and you look over, and you see two familiar friends. You see a catfolk with a goblin on his shoulders. Just grab the lowest apples. Hold on, give me a second. You keep moving. No, just grab a couple. We gotta get out of here. Oh, come on. And then they like wobble back and forth, and you see Glorm fall off of Whisk's shoulders. He's like, "Oh, you idiot! I'm just so hungry. Oh my gosh."
Yeah. Glorm. Whisk
crap.
is
What the? What?
that you.
And you see them look over all shocked, thinking they were being all sneaky, stealing some apples from who knows who. Oh, whoa, wait. Commander Waltz. Oh my gosh, it's Commander Waltz. And you see him wave into the tree line, and a cluster of Drake Knights come out of the tree line with Dan in the front. He's here. He's over here.
Yes.
Waltz will walk through maybe like the field of tall grass and
Pick up Gorm and spin around.
Not the same tone, but at the end of Gladiator, a field like that where he walks through
Yeah.
and sees all of his friends and walks up to them in the open grove. Glorm, Whisk, it's great to see you guys. Oh, Dan, thank you for the shield.
Hey, oh, yeah. Whoa, what happened to it? That doesn't look anything like the shield I gave you.
Yeah, no, I found a better one.
Dang. Okay.
Hey, Commander Waltz, what happened to you guys? I mean, you just blew a big old hole in the vault and you left. Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, no, you're actually at, I don't know if you know who Digsby or Digsby's crew is, but I'm
told
actually
you it was
Waltz
Dixie's
of...
apples. Yeah, oh crap.
These are Digsby's apples. He was a great friend of ours.
What happened to him?
Sindor got him killed.
That guy's the worst. Yeah, it's like another Commander Krim or something. Gosh. he
Yeah,
tried to
no,
kill us.
actually...
First thing he did
in
when he
that-
landed was say, hey, any of these Drake Knights that were, fighting for Commander Waltz, kill them. Yeah, so we fought our way out of there. It was nuts.
Well, listen, I'm here with the rest of Digsby's crew and the people of Karos. Right now we're trying to come up with a plan to take out Sindor. If you guys are willing, and I don't want to ask too much, but we could really use your help in taking him out.
Are you kidding? I mean, we kind of have to, because Sindor's definitely going to kill us if he wins, because of the fact that we, totally let you lead us, even though, you had no credentials. Yeah, that was, in hindsight, that was pretty reckless of us. There was, no confirmation of, you joining the Drake Knights.
Yeah,
I thought
no,
you were a good leader, Commander.
Well, thank you, but you guys have gotten away from that, and me and everybody here are gonna fight him regardless. You guys have a choice. You don't have to do this. You could be free. You could have a second chance at life. But if you're willing to help, we'd gladly take it.
Well, the only way we had a second chance is if we get off this island, which pretty much means we either need to kill Sindor or... Yeah, that's it, Gorm. Yeah, we pretty much have to kill Sindor, so yeah. That works. And to be honest, serving you was the highlight of my career as a Drake Knight. Yeah, me too. It was kick-ass.
Well, it's settled then, isn't it? Let's kill Sindor.
Deal. Hey, guys, we're gonna kill Sindor.
Some of the other Drake Knights were just eating apples, what?
Hey, help yourself to all the apples here. They're delicious. Hey, guys, and I'll call over to Digsby's crew and the people of Karos and motion them over to meet my friends.
Ira runs out. Whoa, what are they doing here? And she draws her hatchet.
These are, not enemies. These are friends.
Her eyes look at the Drake Knights and back at you. They're friends. All the Drake Knights have ever done is imprison us.
Hey, chill out, lady. What's your problem?
Oh, sorry, I, didn't explain that well enough, Ira. These aren't just my friends. They're my men.
Wow, that's awesome. I've never had a commander say something so nice before. I don't even think I've ever had a commander, look me in the eye, honestly.
Dan's like, I have. I got yelled at a lot. They're your men, huh? So they're going to fight for us? Against Sindor? Their master?
Yeah.
Her shoulders raise. You can see a lot of stress, but she's thinking back to when she said that they could use more soldiers. Looks at you long and hard, basically judging your character as you're vouching for them, and then puts her hatchet away. Very well, but if you're battling Sindor, then they're going to have to follow my orders during the fight.
Oh, I, assure you, that won't be a problem. And I'll look to my soldiers and nod at them.
You got it, boss. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
Just, don't yell at Dan. He's been through a lot.
She sighs and shakes her head, knowing that she has been through a lot. Fine, I'll take extra special care of Dan. Dan's picking his nose and then takes his finger out. He's oh, thanks, ma'am.
You can
Dan,
call me
quit,
Dan.
quit picking your nose.
I wasn't.
All right.
Ira goes, all right, well, we're going to have to get you guys patched up before you head into battle. Let's all go see Toriel. And they're like,
Yeah, okay, yeah. Actually, I'm really good at doing stitches. Shut up, just let him do it. You're so cocky about your stitches.
they start following Ira off behind the cabin.
Jules will pull Waltz aside. Waltz, are those two the same from the cart?
Yeah, no, yeah.
All right. I'd maybe keep them far away from Smith. I doubt he would be too excited to see the two of them.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be best.
Well, boys, looks like this is it.
So I know Waltz will be thinking of how he doesn't really want this morning to end, how his dad told him that there's nothing glamorous about war, and now he's really understanding that, and all he can really think about is how he wants all this to be over with, and he'll respond to Jules, let's put an end to this.
Tuff will walk up after hearing what Waltz had said and think too about how he wants to get back at Sindor for what he did to Dunadast and end everything here. And he'll say, yeah, everything should be in place.
Dax, with a head hung pretty low, is going to walk up. He's messing with his new dagger with the rune in it and everything, and it's all shiny new. He's maybe like strapping it on a piece of leather as he walks up. I can't wait to bury this in that tyrant.
None of us chose to be here, but we were brought here for a reason. For the ones here, and for the ones that should be.
For Ryu.
Dax will look to Tuff. For Dunadast.
Tuff will look back and nod his head. And for that Digsby guy.
Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the flare out and I'll point it at the sky. But before I shoot it off, I'll turn to Tuff. You know, Tuff, speaking of Digsby, whether you like it or not, you're part of the crew now. And then I'll fire the flare into the air.
The stripe glows red. A flare is fired into the air, bursting over Digsby's orchard. And that is where we'll end our
baby.
session.
It all comes together.
Here,
So
showdown incoming.
go
But you know what,
crazy.
guys?
Huh.
What?
I got to complain.
Yeah, what is it
There's
then?
been something I've been
Yeah.
meaning to say to you for the past 2 seconds now.
What is
And
it?
that
Oh,
is,
yeah? Yeah,
shut up. Because we're going to talk about that in the downtime, which is for patrons. We react to the most recent episode, which is this episode. This is the most recent episode that we're going to record in our downtime. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break all that stuff down. So if you want to check that out, become a patron. And thank you, Joel, for your editing. Thank you, Taryn, for your sound effects. Thank you, Adam, for your music. And thank you... thank you, Adam, for your art. And thank you, Ryan, for your music. And thank you, listener, for hanging out with us. We really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time, mortals. 9 damage once you apply the shield's effects. And
Ow!
and that'll take us to... And that'll take us to...
Ow, isn't it?
Okay.
Sorry.
Is everybody done just saying ow? Are we still... Do it again.
That was all one person, believe it or not,
Owie.
Zach.
Was that all one
It's just
person? Oh my god.
That many good voices.
No.